Are you ready for a road trip? I think I am. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. What you saw in just a few seconds took me a lot of hours. And what this is I'm back at my parents' property, and I'm here for a few reasons. The first reason is because it's my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, and I'm here to celebrate that with them, and I'm really excited about that. And so I'm here for a couple days. But beyond that, I'm actually here for another reason, which I will explain to you shortly. I picked it up a couple weeks ago, and I put it here at our campsite. I'm going to pull it out and show it to you. In the meantime, I got to pull some things out that's in front of it. Well, what do you think? What you're looking at is a Wheelhorse Raider 14. I have no idea what the year is, but I think it's early 70s based off what I remember. It's got a Kohler 14 horsepower single cylinder engine on it. It has 23 by 8.5 by 12-inch tires in the back. 16 by 6.5 by 8 tires in the front. It's a 6-speed, which means it's a 3-speed with a low and high. That's why it has 2 sticks. And I am thrilled to own this thing. Totally pumped to own it. If some of you remember my video just a couple weeks ago about my new Ford 100 garden tractor, if you remember that, the engine that I had for my Ford garden tractor when I was a kid came off of a Wheelhorse. And guess what kind of Wheelhorse it was? It was a Wheelhorse Raider 14. And so, again, in the spirit of nostalgia and sentimental, I found this tractor for sale in Marketplace, and I decided to pick it up and bring it home. Ironically, I was visiting my parents that weekend that it came on Marketplace, and it was only about an hour away, so I went and picked it up. And this thing is a pretty cool story, actually. As the story goes, I went and bought this thing from a 13-year-old kid. He had bought it from his grandmother a year or two ago, and then never did anything with it. So he put it up for sale on Facebook with his dad's permission, obviously. This was his grandpa's tractor, and his grandpa used it to plow snow. Hence the plow that came with the tractor. Before we look under the hood, let's look under the seat. This thing obviously was sitting outside for a long time. I'll put some of the pictures that he had posted on the ad so you can kind of see that it's conditioned for the last couple of years where it was sitting. I have no idea what's in there. I'm going to look at it real quick. Some kind of nest. So we got a mouse nest here. Alrighty. Looks like first thought it was a boot, but I don't know if it actually is a boot. I don't even know if that goes to tractors. Look, it goes on some kind of linkage or something. I really don't know what that goes to. Anyway, let's keep looking. Okay, here's some kind of pin. He's got a sleeve hitch in the back, but I don't think this goes to it. Oh, I wonder if this does go to it. I wonder if that fits into the sleeve hitch. I have no clue. Does anyone know what this is or how it works? I have no clue idea what this for, but it's in the seat. Alrighty. This is a bump stop to some kind of suspension. This thing don't have suspension, so it doesn't obviously go to this. Here's a pen. It's missing the pen that goes through here, but here's another one. Here's another pen. I wonder if this had some kind of hitch before. All right, I'm gonna show this to you. I don't know what this is. It looks like it. I don't see anywhere look where it broke or anything. I have no idea what that is. Again, if anyone knows, post it down in the comments below because I really don't know. More mouse nest. Huh? Golf ball. Now just hold on to it. Okay. Wire for the light that's no longer on it. Oop. And a bolt. That looks about it. Actually, I think. Let me show you what I'm thinking here. All right, so what I'm thinking here is here's some kind of slit, and it looks like here's the rest of the rod. And I wonder, it looks like this slot right here was for the sleeve hitch that goes out there. And I just wonder if this slid into here through the back there like that. And it was operated like that, up and down, up and down. And I don't know how these hitches would work on the wheel horses. I have little to no experience on them. But there's obviously a slot. It goes down to a little sleeve hitch down there, and there's something inside here that I don't know what it is. Oh, I bet it's a cable. I bet that's a tube for a cable, and the cable came forward through this little hole here, and then it goes up through the shift linkage area, and I bet it goes up front there. Yeah, I bet I can almost bet that's what it is. For those who are wheel horse fans, and you might know this, please tell me, what is that? Is that what that was for you, that you had a little cable that went down in there? Does this look familiar? Does this look familiar to anybody, or what that is? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna put everything back in there, and then we're gonna open this hood. The way you open it is plug the lever forward, lay forward. All right, I'm just going to lay it all the way down, just real gentle. Alrighty, it looks like we have, and I'll bring it in a little bit closer, a Kohler K321. Now, my old Kohler actually said 14 horsepower on the side. This does not say that, but the assumption is it is the 14 horse, being a Raider 14, unless this is a motor that didn't originally come on this tractor. So I'm going to look that up to see if that's the original motor or not. So we'll see. It does come with the gas tank. Oh man, look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can turn on a flashlight for you. Look at that. Look at those mouths. I mean, they just made a home out of this tractor in the rear end and the dash. Wow. What I love about these tractors is they're not very complicated. They're not very complicated. So this thing's going to need a lot of love. And so my goal is to get it home and to see if it will fire up. And if it fires up, then see if I can get it to drive around. Steering wheel is still intact. It even came with a key. Steering wheel still feels intact. That's good. Let's go see if the engine turns over. Before I do, let me pull that dipstick. Let me make sure there's at least a little bit of oil in it. Not that I'm starting or anything, but yeah, we're right at the full line actually. You see that? Yeah, we're right at the full line. Alrighty, man, that thing, mine was all wore out before and it had a lot of water in it. That still seems watertight. Love that. If you look here, there is mouse nest packed inside this thing. It's packed. Oh man. So even, oh, did you see it? You missed it. Hold on. Oh no, did you see it then? He's still in there. Oh, so evidently it was a mouse here. Do you see him? Hey, buddy. Okay, I'm going to put you all a little closer. Hey, little guy. What are you doing in there? Did I disturb your little home? All righty. You're on camera, buddy. Okay. Is there any more of you? All right, let's see. I'm going to back you guys up. And so that way if more comes out, you see them. This thing is jam-packed. Nope, there's another one. Little family of mice. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's not the mouse nest causing the resistance, because it's easy and then it gets hard. See? I hear it. Okay. Okay. Oh, and compression stroke. Right there. And it stops. So I want to get this thing loaded up probably tomorrow, and take it home, and we're going to see if we can get this thing to fire up. Safety first. Okay, we made it home and unloaded it, and here it is sitting in my yard. I would normally do this in my barn, but right now I'm in the middle of that loader project, and it's taking up quite a bit of space. So I thought this was a great opportunity to practice what's called shade tree mechanics. Got 2 big shade trees over me. Nice little place to work on it. It's a beautiful 75 degrees outside. I'm going to take advantage of it and try to see if we can get this thing to start. If you remember, this thing was packed full of mouse nests in the rear, under the dash, and under the engine shroud. So we're going to start by taking out all the mouse nests, so that way when we put a battery in this thing, we don't have the risk of possibly starting a fire. You can see this crack right here, and this crack is on the mount from the hood to the frame. And what causes this is there's usually some kind of cable that goes from the engine to the hood that keeps the hood from opening too far. Well, if that cable's missing, the hood just goes straight down. This looked like it was cracked a long time ago, but in order to keep damage from happening further and to make the engine a little more easier to work on, I'm going to remove this hood, and so that way we can work on the engine, and I can kind of fix that hood mount before we damage it any further. All that's holding this on is there's a couple C-clips here and here, and you pull those C-clips, and then the little bar can move, and then you should be able to get the hood off pretty easily. Okay, pretty simple. Little seat clips. Okay, lift the hood up a little bit, slide the little pull. Pull it out to one side here. All right, the hood's off. All right, let's continue with our cleaning out of the mice nests. Loosen the spring, loosen the spring. Go ahead and take it off. Put it in the seat. And then, looks like the tank should lift up at least. Yeah, this has got a little, just the fuel line holding it in. All right, reach back in here. This stuff has been in here for a while. Oh, that looks so much better. Look at that rust from just that stuff was in there for some time. I bet this thing was sitting for much longer than just a couple years. It looked like it had, I mean, it looks like the stuff been in there for a while. And I'm glad I got it out. When you do that kind of thing, if you're in an enclosed place, you should wear a mask, or like me, when blowing it out, hold your breath and wait till you get some fresh air before you breathe. Now I'm going to put this gas tank back and reattach it, and then go back to the engine. Even though I don't want to take the shroud off of the engine, because it was so packed full of mice nests, I blew it out, but I want to make sure that I got all the mouse nests out there. Not necessarily because I'm concerned about it being a fire hazard, as much as I'm concerned about it overheating the engine. My goal is, if this thing runs and drives, I'm going to drive it around, and I'd rather know that there's not mouse nests that's hidden that I couldn't see or couldn't get, and that it's going to cause problems later. So let's take that off. The wheel horse I had as a kid, this right here was the only reason it was parked. It sat for over 10 years because of this little piece, little condenser. Got it. Solid. Okay. This is the shroud. That's the inside there. And I looked it up, and the Kohler 321 is the 14 horse Kohler. All right, I see some mouse nest stuff in here. I'm going to blow that out real quick, and then I'm going to put the shroud back on. Okay, so I got the shroud put back on. Everything looks like it did before I started. All the mouse nests are cleaned out and we're ready to go. And I noticed something that I want to show you real quick that I think might be to my benefit. Yeah, if you can see it, there's a new fuel pump on this engine, and that's very positive. That means this thing probably was operating in the last 10 years, and the fuel lines look good. And so I think fuel, hopefully, will not be an issue. But it is only one out of the three things you need to get an engine to start. So let's talk about those three things. All right, so the three things you need in order to get an engine to run, assuming the mechanical element of the engine's in good and decent condition, is air, fuel, and spark. And so the air, obviously we're going to pull this off and check the air filter and probably run it a little bit without the air filter to make sure it's getting plenty of air to run. I'm going to disconnect the fuel line and turn it over a few times to make sure that fuel is coming up to the carburetor. And then I have a little tester that will show if we're getting spark up here. The air and the fuel should be easy to fix. So in the sense of if I'm not getting enough fuel, I should be able to spray some ether in here. I try to avoid that, but spray some ether in here, some starting fluid in here, just to hear it start off and run. But if I don't have spark, I might have issues with my condenser or my coil or my points beneath. All right, let's take this air filter cover off. At least it has one. Oh boy, look at this. That is as dark as can be. That's almost pitch black. I don't know if you see it. Let's see if I can get it into the frame. Pitch black. Man, this thing needs a new air filter. Well, I'm going to add that to the list of things to buy. Okay, now that we have access to air in here, we're going to go over here and open up the points and just give those a little cleaning. Because if it's been sitting for some time, then there's most likely they are corroded and won't produce spark. All right, so underneath this cover are points. And points basically make contact. So when they make contact, it allows the spark plug to fire. And this is so that your spark plug isn't firing all the time. It fires at the right time. But what happens is these points get corroded and they lose connection and you're not able to fire your plug. So I'm going to take off this cover and we're going to look at them. Fortunately, the exhaust is only held on by an exhaust clamp that came off really easy. That gives us access to this. So if you look here, inside here is where your points make contact. Right down, they're not. But I'm going to slowly turn the engine over and then I'm going to get me some real fine sandpaper and put in there and just try to clean those up a bit. All right, so I have some 1000 grit sandpaper. It doesn't take a lot. You're just cleaning them up and they're already separated, but I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this in there and you're just gonna put it in there and work it back and forth. That should be good enough. We'll try that. These points don't look that old. Let's hope I don't have to replace them. Well, I think the next logical step is I'm gonna be starting to turn the engine over, or trying to start getting fuel to pump up the carburetor, to test the spark on the spark plug, and to make sure that the fuel lines and everything are clear. And so I'm going to take out this battery. So I have another battery that should work just fine, put it in there, and see if we get this thing to turn over. So when you take off a battery, you should always start with the ground, because if you start with the positive and you ground out the wrench, it'll spark. But if you start off with the ground side of it, it won't. It disconnects the battery from the rest of the tractor, and you shouldn't spark if you touch the positive to the tractor. Here we remove these two nuts, slide the battery out, and this battery's from 2015. It's a decade old, so 10 years. So again, 3 to 5 years looks like about the right amount of time that this thing's at least not been running. Have me a newer battery from this time last year. Now, in order to, when you connect the battery, it's the opposite sequence. You connect the positive first, and then you connect the ground. All right, let's see what happens when I connect the ground. Make sure there's no fires or anything else. I don't see any smoke. Nothing like that. I think we're okay. Would be awesome if everything still just worked. Like a dream. Man, just to hook it up, turn the key, have it fire right up. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's been sitting for at least a few years. Let's find out. Oh man, that's so bad. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't believe that switch worked. It's like it's as gunked up as be. Good thing I have some fluid I can spray into it. I'll do that later. But it just turned over. That's awesome. Let me turn on the fuel. Let me add some fuel to the tank. I got a fuel filter here that was put on. I'll be watching that. That looks like it's actually backwards. Yes, that's backwards. I'm going to flip that around and fix that. And then we're going to disconnect it from the carburetor and see if we're getting fuel up to the carburetor. So I think we're ready to try to see if this thing will start. I checked the oil again, and because even though I checked it there where I picked it up, I checked again just to make sure that it had enough oil in it, and it did. It was full. And you should always do that. That way you're not starting an engine dry and possibly ruining the engine. So I checked the oil. That's good. And I put a little bit of fuel in it, and I think we're ready to start. Now, when I added fuel to this thing, I went ahead and added a little bit of 2-cycle fuel with my regular fuel to add a little oil to it to lubricate the cylinder so that way the cylinder is not just starting dry. So if it starts and smokes a little bit, it's really not a big deal. It should be fine. Now, as you can see here, this thing has 2 petcocks, factory, aftermarket, factory, aftermarket. This one was left open. I'm just going to leave it open in hopes that it's not rusted through because this is one of those metal ones. And we're going to wash this fuel filter here to see if we get fuel coming through there. You wash that for me. Tell you if fuel starts coming through. I saw fuel. Oh, let's see. Looks like I got a couple fuel leaks. Okay. Well, I put on a new, this was leaking and this was leaking. So I shortened this up and reattached it. And I installed a new shutoff valve here, hoping that fixes the fuel. And it was pulling fuel through. So the fuel pump is working and it should be pulling fuel to the carburetor. Next, we want to see if we're getting spark. So let's do that now. What I have here is a spark plug tool. There's a low light bulb in there, and you hook this up in line with the spark plug. And what it does is if it flashes, that means you're getting spark to the plug. So I'm just going to hook this up. The spark plug doesn't look bad. So let's go. We're just going to see if we're getting spark. Okay, that's all connected. Now I want to reconnect the fuel line real quick, so that way, because I know I'm getting fuel pumped, I want it that way if it gets up here, it's not going to come out. We should be good to go there. Keep an eye on this right here. See if we're getting any spark to that. I saw spark. I don't know if you did, but I definitely did see spark. Now, instead of burning up my starter, I'm going to spray some ether in here to see if I can get it to fire and run. But now that I know it's got spark, I'm going to go ahead and reattach the exhaust. That way it's not just coming out here, but does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to spray some ether in here to get that engine to kind of run. And that way it starts pumping fuel up a little more, little more fuel up in here. And we're going to see if it'll sit and idle. And if it'll idle and run, then we'll take it out for a test spin. Okay, it runs, it sounds amazing, but I'm not getting enough fuel. I'm getting fuel high up to the carb, but I'm not getting it back into the engine. So I'm gonna pull this carb off and clean it out real quick, and see if we can hear this thing idle today. Okay, pull off the fuel line. Theoretically, there should be fuel up here. And I don't see any. Well, I know there's fuel here. I'm gonna set this run, see if I get fuel to come out of there. There should be fuel come out of there. I forgot to turn the fuel on. Let me do that now. Now we have fuel going. Let me reattach the fuel line and see if I can get it to do it now. I was wondering why it wasn't coming through, but sure enough, I had... All right. Trying this again. There it is. There it is. We're running. There it is idling. Oh, it runs so good. It reminds me of my first one so much. Awesome. Well, I don't have to rebuild a carburetor. You just gotta be smarter than what you're working on. Awesome. I'm gonna shut it down, put it back together, put the hood back on it. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. Okay, I'm ready to take it out for a test drive. Since it ran, I decided to go ahead and put air in the tires, make sure they had a little bit of air in them. And then I went ahead and decided to go ahead and grease up the front end so it had fresh grease on it, or in it. And now I'm going to get on it. I'll show you the test drive, and you can see how it runs. So the revival was a success. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that today I was able to drive this thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not think I was going to be able to. Usually when these things sit, the carburetors get all gummed up. The fuel tanks usually have stuff inside of them. The fuel lines usually are clogged, or the fuel pump don't work. The electrical components are sometimes bad. And I was planning on having a parts list ready by the end of this evening to be able to put it in for order and be able to get it running later. So the fact that it started and ran and I drove it was so exciting, and I am pumped about it. And not only does it runs good, especially for an old tractor. And I went ahead and looked up the year of this. This tractor is a 1972 wheel horse Raider 14. And the reason I know that is they only made the Raider 14s 1 year. I couldn't believe it, but they did. 1972 is the only year they made the Raider 14, which not only makes it sentimental to me because it was one of the first tractors that I actually called mine as a kid. It also is a rare tractor to find. So the fact that I found it, that it was only an hour away, that I found it for the price that I did, that I found it, that I was able to get it and bring it home, and that it runs good, I am ecstatic about. And so I'm really pumped about that. So what am I going to do with it? Well, for me, it's kind of obvious. It has too much meaning to me as a person just to sell or to put it out in a tractor junkyard now that I got it running. I'm going to restore it. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to sand it down. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to try to make it look new again and give it a whole second life. That's my goal right now. In fact, I'll put some pictures at the end of this of a wee horse that looks similar to this one, of the kind of look that I think I'm going to go for when I restore this. And that is what I plan on doing. If you like this kind of stuff where I do like tractor revivals, and I don't just do tractor revivals, I have some garden tractors, I have some some larger tractors. I also have a couple trucks that I plan on putting on the channel. But if you like this kind of stuff where it's mechanical revivals or restorations, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel and follow along, because I plan on doing a lot of these. I have kids growing up that are also interested in the hobby, so this is something that's going to be part of my life for many years to come. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back next time we have a video. I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.